In this video, we're going to try to work on questions 5 and 6. We'll probably be able to make it through 7 and 8 as well. 7 and 8 are more organic chemistry questions, but we'll lump them together in this one. So 5 through 8. So the questions read, write the reaction of hydrogen carbonate with maleic acid and predict if the reaction favors the reactants or the products. Calculate the Kb of hydrogen maleate ion, and then calculate or identify the functional groups that are present in maleic acid, and is maleic acid saturated or unsaturated. So the first question is to write the reaction of hydrogen carbonate and maleic acid. So here, this is a diprotic acid and this is an amphiprotic acid. So this could both gain a hydrogen or donate a hydrogen. This has only got hydrogens to donate. So this is going to need to be my acid and this is going to be my base. So my product would include carbonic acid and hydrogen maleate. So these are my products. These are a conjugate acid-base pair. This is the base and the acid. This is an acid and this is its conjugate base. And to determine if it favors the reactants or products, I want to find out if my strongest acid in the reactants is above the strongest base. If it does, then the forward reaction is favored. Or if my strongest acid in the reactants is stronger than my strongest, or is weaker, below my strongest base. This would be less than 50% forward reaction would favor the reactants. So how am I going to determine this? Well, previously we calculated that the Ka for maleic acid is 1.5 times 10 to the negative 2. So it literally actually fits in between oxalic acid here and sulfurous acid. So it belongs here, and you can see hydrogen carbonate is down here. And so it's got this kind of favors the products kind of orientation. So this is greater than 50% forward reaction because it goes like this. If you're given an acid that you're not finding in the data table, if they give you the Ka, you can add it essentially to the data table. The next question says to calculate the Kb of this chemical. Well, the Ka of maleic acid times the Kb of hydrogen maleate is going to be equal to Kw, which is 10 to the negative 14. We've already determined that this is 1.5 times 10 to the negative 2. So my Kb is going to be equal to 10 to the negative 14 divided by 1.5 times 10 to the negative 2. And so if I put that into my calculator, I should be able to determine the number of the Kb, and it'll be 6.7 times 10 to the negative 13 would be the Kb for the hydrogen maleate ion. The next question says, identify the functional groups that are present in maleic acid. So over here, this is a carboxylic acid group, and so is this. The carboxylic acid group has a carbonyl, and they shouldn't really be asking you about carbonyls, but it is also made out of a hydroxyl functional group, but it also has an alkene here. So I would say that it's an alkene and it's a carboxylic acid. Those are my functional groups that I would expect you to understand. And because it's an alkene, it is an unsaturated molecule. And so we're going to basically look at saturated or unsaturated as how do we describe our aliphatics. So it's an alkane, alkene, or an alkyne.